Heltruda, I think so. So she only has one ability and has auto, Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, cost discard 3 cards from your hand. Return all of your cards on your circles other than Vanguard Circle to your hand. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand and call them to RC. At the end of that battle, cost Counter Boss 1, Soul Boss 1. Put this unit into your G zone face up. Choose where your Vanguards to stand it. So the big meme is that this is a next stage, but also it just bounces all your cards back. So I decided to let this sit over for a day so I can like comprehend and fully understand like what can you do with this card, and what plays you can make. So basically, returning all of your cards to your circles. Right now in the meta we have Order Colony, and this kind of just gets rid of all your stunned cards. Of course Bermuda could do that before, but you just really get rid of it. And you call it from hand doesn't do anything under Gridora's effect. The return all of your cards also gets out of lock, so you're not locked anymore. It just targets all of them, it just bounces them back. So if you have too many locked cards, you can always just go into this, discard 3 cards, bounce them back, which is really good. You get to call 2 cards from your hand. There are other cards that you can do that call more cards to the field, like Lethal Lot, so you get more attacks. So the important thing is at the end of the battle, you pay the cost, because it's still during your attack phase. So any cards that's like want to give specific power to the Vanguard after, you can't do that because you have to pay the cost at the end of the battle. Put it to the G zone and just choose your Vanguard to stand is like really powerful. So I know that Orange talked about you can use V Reindeer, you can use V Prisms, you can stand Lupina. There's a lot of bosses that can use his ability well. It also allows a lot of the lyrical decks to be played. Like it's very like it's surprising to me that they made this card and it just opened up like at least 18 plus decks. And I'm not kidding. Matt Montella, he's a YouTuber and a content creator. He like wrote down at least how many builds came from this that you can possibly build towards. It was at least 18. I'm like, I was kidding about the 18 plus, but it's actually serious. But yeah, I didn't think that this card would open up the clan like it did. I wanted a card that did that, but I didn't think it would be a next age. Now there are some decks that don't really benefit from this. I know Pacifica doesn't. Well, V Pacifica, because you can't use their act ability to get the force markers and then do the triple door. The new boss from Lyrical Fortia, since you bounce everything to your hand, you don't have enough friends on the board to restand. So I still think there are a plethora of other options that you can play. Like it makes even the old reindeer like sort of viable thanks to some of the rulings, but I will go over that later. This card, like design wise, it's probably the best in the set. Plan does benefit because you can soul charge your cards still, and then when you stand during your battle phase, her ability's active. I think so. Let me check. Just put Plan here. I just want to look at the card. During each main and battle phase, this unit, it's not at the start. It just says during each main and battle phase. It's continuous, so it works. It should work. So all your Sonatas and all your Carols and your Soul, whatever 2 melody cards you called, they get the power. And also, like, it does help Melody too, because you can play Meep, the restricted card, search all your melodies out, and have all the goodness that you can at premium. Like Speaker, you get extra attacks that are like 40k or something. Depending on your board, you can still play Fina for some extra defense too. So Melody, I believe if you work hard enough or make a right build for it, Melody can still do well. And that's what I like about this card. It just allows most builds or most like bosses to have a chance, right? Because the biggest disappointment was the second stride that Bermuda got, and it just didn't help anything. Like, no, like, okay, other than just playing as a meme, why would you ever play the card? It still makes your deck worse. And yeah, Lyrical is buffing it by getting like the 10k triggers or whatever, but it's still not a good card in today. So that's why I really like this card. It just allows people to play whatever they want, create whatever wacky combos that they want, and just enjoy the deck that they have. That's all I wanted. Like, there might be like 2 to 3 like competitive decks from this, but I just like the fact that it just opens up a lot of a lot of decks in the nation. So next we talk about the G Guard. We have Diva Salvation Luris? Yeah, Luris. I think I don't know. I feel like it's Spanish, but anyway. To heal is a G Guardian, so you have to discard a heal from your hand and call it from your G zone. So it has one ability, Auto. When this unit is put on Guardian Circle, cost counterblast 1 and return a normal unit from your rear guard to hand, and perform the following according to the grade of the returned card for this cost. So grade 2 or less, this unit gets 15,000 shield until the end of that battle. 3 or more, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets 5,000 power to the end of the turn. Now, a lot of people feel like this card is like in between, but I think this card is like slightly better than Leona. So to this card, it does cost a counterblast and it does target a specific unit. However, Leona is like, she is free, she costs no counterblast, but you're forced to call a card onto Guardian Circle. Zen said, mirrors the not yet. Leona forces you to call a card to hand, to the Guardian Circle if you bounce a card, and if it's the same card, she gets 5,000 shield. But this one is just a straight counterblast. If you return a grade 2 or less, it's Leona but for a counterblast. But the second ability is where it's at. The ability to, like, if you have, because oftentimes there are grade 3s that you call and then you just leave on the field. If you bounce it back, your Vanguard gets a, like, you save at least 5k shield in your hand, and to some attacks that can like be the deciding factor of you surviving that turn. Now we do have defensive plays in form of Liddy with Rusius. We have Laffy, which could be considered with this card, since if you play grade 3s and then you can just call Laffy from whatever skill, it gives you the 10k, but you have a 10k shield, so that's also an option. Cards like Meride, if you're a Legion, bounce a card back like a grade 3, and then you give the Vanguard like 10k power for free. Well, not for free, but for a counterblast and a heal. But you're essentially +1 with this card, which is really good. There's also other cards that's like when it's returned to hand. So this one has a lot more power in a lot of utility, and you don't like have to commit a card from hand. I don't have a what ESP Leona. I only have the base already. But yeah, I really like this card, just as it doesn't have to be like the main G guard that you use, especially since it's counterblast. And I've been noticing that a lot of the cards, if you don't have like a way to countercharge, cost a lot of CB now. But anyway, this G guard is really good. Well, I'll put it over like Citron. I think Citron nets like the same amount of advantage if you have Rusius, but if not, this is a bit better depending on your matchup. Especially if you have like a resist unit or a card that can't be targeted, then your board is safe at least until like your opponent has like a ability that goes through resist or can't be chosen effects. But yeah, pretty much these two cards are really good in my opinion.